Eat, Lloyd. Eat.
There we go.
Swallow. Right, hello everyone. My name's Squigs and welcome to the UnCapt Gaming Podcast. I'm joined, as always, by Phil and Lloyd. Say hello, lads.
Hello. Hello, lads, I should say.
Hello. And today we're talking about the small event that was the Game Awards. That happened on, early hours Friday morning for us, because apparently Jeff doesn't care for the UK people.
Nice one, Jeff.
You know?
Favourite person this week.
I personally think that was a worthwhile way to spend 4 hours that you were would have been asleep otherwise.
You could have slept and watched the recap in 3 minutes and still not missed a thing. You know?
Yeah, I mean,
Sure,
I was being sarcastic there, but yeah.
Oh, sorry. I didn't read the sarcasm. My body clock's messed up. He's coughing, man.
Right.
So, firstly, we'll start off in classic UnCapt fashion, not with Scuffness, but with what's everyone been playing. Lloyd, I know you said you played 2 games this week.
That is more than I've played all year, I think. Death Store was the first one, which was obviously up for Indie Game of the Year, but missed out. I don't know how, because playing it is bloody incredible. It's like it's kind of like inspired by Zelda. It's very Zelda-like. But like everything, the enemy designs are really cool. That from what I've played so far, it seems like a really cool story. So you play this crow who's basically like a reaper. Comes down, and he's got to take these souls to the Death Store, but he gets bopped and by an older Reaper who takes his souls, and then you've got to go on this event to fight these. Sorry, my throat's still bad, so the speaker this much is So he basically has got to go and get all these souls to open the Death Store, and it's just a really cool game. I started playing Cyberpunk as well.
Oh,
I bought that for 15 quid.
So you're up for a bit of disappointment, do you?
But it's all right. It's all right. It's okay. There's not a lot to say so far. Played about 3 hours of it. Meh.
Yeah,
it's okay. The
driving groundbreaking as they said it would be.
No, the driving sucks.
The driving's awful.
It's definitely no Forza. The driving sucks. I hate the fact you can't be third person. That bugs me. You spend all that time in character creation, and you can look at your guy for about 3 seconds in the mirror. Like,
to be fair, I hate third person, so I
love it. Like that's the way I play it an RPG. But it's okay. It's okay. I don't know whether it's improved or not because I've never played it before, but all I gotta say, it's okay.
Yeah. And Phil, what haven't you been playing this week?
As I said before at the start of the show, I've literally played no games this week. Especially because I cancelled stream on Friday and Saturday because I went out to a wedding. So I played the game of socializing with real people.
That's not a good game. Bad graphics.
What's your gamer score?
What's your game? Did you platinum it or
no? I didn't.
No.
No, I mean to be fair, it was a fun night, but like I say, it just feels like this week I haven't had the chance, which is actually quite rare. I usually do get the chance to think, but no games. Although just on the Cyberpunk thing, just to kind of agree with Lloyd, the lack of third person bugged me because that was the first thing I did in Skyrim after character creation. Was the second you could change to third person, I did every time.
Wait, who plays Skyrim in third person?
Me.
What the? What?
Yeah, I switched to for combat. Otherwise, I can't do it.
Yeah, spatial awareness is bad enough in third person if the camera's pointed the wrong way, let alone in first person.
Yeah, but then you just take the hit and you're like, oh, you're over here, and then you fight them there. Yeah, I didn't live very long in Skyrim. So you've just been socializing then?
Yeah, well, that and doing other things like just putting things together. It just feels like it's been a busy week, and then for some reason I stayed up till 5 a.m. watching the Game Awards. So, that happened.
That's something. Well, I started Halo Infinite campaign, and oh my lord, it's so good. Like,
Yeah,
it's
that's incredible.
genuinely, it is incredible. Like, they've done such a good job with everything.
Mm.
Like, it's just bigger, better than ever, and there's
I
a
have a
lot
question.
what's that?
How does the open world work? Obviously, it's just open
Like
world.
most games,
Okay.
except you have, well, it's like most games anyway. You have just main story markers, and you go to them, but you can like save what's they call them, the USNC squads
Yeah.
that are
Yeah.
like fighting. You can liberate FOBs, which I suppose act as, well, forward operation bases, but they act as your like towers as well.
Okay.
So they unlock a bit around the map, but you can like download guns and stuff, and I don't know, it's a weird system. But yeah, you can do that. There's
Is that
also
the
like
usual open world thing of like long periods of just walking to places.
no, to be fair, not really. There's a lot of vehicles, but things are quite close. It's quite a big map, but things are quite close. And more often than not, you end up in a gunfight anyway. And you have the grapple, which is an amazing addition to this Halo. Grapples and sliding, right, make every single shooter better. Change my mind. And jetpacks. Jetpacks are cool as well. Jetpack COD was a good time. It was. But yeah, I've been playing that, and a bit of Jurassic World and a bit of Forza. Passed my driving test, so I was like, got to get on Forza and practice hitting those sharp turns at 300 miles an hour, so I can drive 10 miles an hour and be really slow on the road.
It's not the same.
No,
you learn that after your first crash.
He just wants an
Tell me
experience
that.
where he can feel.
Oh.
You can feel like he's actually driving well, and that's the game.
Well, that
obviously,
was-
not the real world.
That was my one. I had three faults, and the one fault was that I was driving a little too slow. So I wanted to get into a car that was driving about 300 miles an hour and experience the wind through my virtual hair. So then when I jump in the car again, I can just go slow and feel good about it.
How did you feel that there was no right trigger and an A, B, X, Y button in the car?
I did turn to the instructor and I was like, mate, where's the joysticks? Like, how do I...
Just sat there with the gear stick,
They just sat there with a gear stick, like, so does it 360 or I don't know how this works. But yeah, that's been me. A bit of Jurassic World, I played quite a bit this week, in all honesty with you. I think since I handed my disc in, I've just been, I want to play some games and just forget about things for a while and then jump back in.
I'm excited. That's why I'm excited for these 2 weeks off now over Christmas. Is to
get
some game, watch some anime, catch up with
Naruto.
Yeah,
Watch it.
I'm gonna get
This guy,
Funimation.
Pain. No, you got to do it. You'll cry a lot.
And hopefully get rid of this throat.
But just get rid of your throat.
Just get rid of it. If it's no use, replace it. Cybermonk told me you can replace anything.
But
50 used silly, but
Quick question to pivot us in. Do you think it was worth it to stay up till 5 a.m. to watch the Game Awards? Simple yes and no.
No, I mean there was moments that were interesting, but no.
I
got them later.
I rewatched it last night, and I crashed, and I rewatched the stream, and you can like see where I crashed. But I rewatched it yesterday, and it was even worse when I rewatched it. I don't want to be negative, I really don't, but it was just, it felt out of touch, and it was it wasn't a Game Awards.
I saw a meme that was like, people that run ad blockers, so you saw 3 minutes of the Game Awards.
Yeah, it's like, I'm all up for game announcements and everything, but just don't forget where you come from and what you are. Like, it
felt like a lot of the awards were just rushed out.
Yeah, it was just like, how much can we game announcements can we fit in?
Yeah, like they were in the pre-show as well. Like, why are they in the pre-show? If you're going to give one in the pre-show, give like a semi big one that you build up in that for that pre-show.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. What I would have rather is if they did like 10 announcements in the pre-show, then did the awards in the main show, because like it's not the Summer Game Fest. Sorry, Jeff, but it's not. They're not the same thing.
This is the different thing. This is an award show, Jeff.
Yeah,
we love you. We do. Phil can't imagine you actually gaming, as he said in the live stream. He doesn't
Well, that
understand
was
it.
me, wasn't it?
Oh, was it you? Sorry.
Yeah.
Throwing Phil into the bus.
That's gonna have to be a tweet. We're gonna have to call
I
him
said
out.
I can imagine him gaming because I can imagine him just undoing that top button on his shirt and just maybe taking his belt off and just sitting like
Pack of Doritos in the other hand,
Yeah.
throwing them at his mouth. Like.
obviously button undone on his pants so that he can get more snacks in.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know. I think it was overhyped.
Yeah.
They hyped up, we've got like 50, first announcements. And it was like, there was practically nothing there that was
Exciting.
amazing. It was all just like,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, first big plot points now. What's the biggest thing that you didn't see that you were hoping for or expecting? Can I throw mine in first, because this has been bugging me for days.
Go on.
Where's Silksong? It's been like 3 years since they announced it. I played that demo at EGX or Insomnia. It was
2019.
amazing, and that's all I want. All I want. There's been no news, no updates. I can't take it. I need it. I do.
There we
It's
go.
bugging
Let's start a GoFundMe now and a petition to Jeff Keighley redo the Game Awards and put Silksong.
I just want a dev to be like, things are going fine. That's amazing. That's all I need. Cool.
I was thinking about this when you mentioned Silksong. I've got a feeling it's going to be announced at a Nintendo Direct, because I was thinking that was trying to replace E3. Like, let's be real.
It was trying.
It was trying so hard to replace E3, and like E3 has left a massive gap in the gaming world around. And like, I think everyone's just trying to jump in on it. You know, you've got Ubisoft with their own thing, Sony have got their own thing, Nintendo have got their own thing. I wouldn't be shocked if EA come up with their own thing at some point.
Microsoft
Epic, where they just give away free games.
Yeah.
Like everyone's just jumping on it, and they're saving it all the big stuff for their own thing. So it wouldn't shock me.
Yeah,
I know it's not it's not a Nintendo exclusive. But...
It's not, but they did. I think they revealed it at Nintendo Direct.
Yeah.
So I think
so
they
it
must
wouldn't
be
shock
working.
me.
Yeah,
it wouldn't shock me.
Well, I mean, on Nintendo reveals, the sequel to Breath of the Wild, is still just called the sequel to Breath of the Wild, and that's all we got was like one half-second screenshot with that non-title.
Yeah.
We did see a little bit of gameplay, didn't we?
Yeah, a little bit.
It was it was like seconds though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a couple of seconds. But I suppose that's enough to get all the conspiracy theorists losing their minds.
But that was the same with because the Silent Hill was a big one that was absent, and then but they had Guillermo del Toro say they should just do a Silent Hill game.
Yeah,
and
they
obviously
dropped it
right after Hideo Kojima's just been on, so
twice. They name dropped it twice.
They did, didn't they? They name dropped it with the
Slitterhead as well.
Yeah,
which is, I'm sorry, it's the dumbest name for a game. I can't look at that name and not laugh. Like, why?
It sounds like a really bad, like, 80s horror movie.
It does, don't it? Like, why? I can't take it seriously.
Yeah.
I think that does seem to be intentional, though, because it, like, immediately, it starts off with saying, like, the guy who made one of the devs from Silent Hill made this, and then the initials of it are SH.
Wow, just remake it and disappoint everyone already. Like, just do it. Because it is. They're going to remake it. It's going to disappoint, like, all the hardcore fans, and then new fans are going to love it. And then we just all move on with our life.
Because I think the thing everyone's mad about was not getting anything from PT. Because that was when Konami and Kojima fell out, and then it disappeared. And then that was the whole big thing with, like, the thing that everyone still wants is because it was going to be called Silent Hills. I don't know whether it was like a direct sequel or a new story or whatever.
So it's not just one hill, it was going to be multiple hills. They were all very quiet.
I don't know. I mean, the original Silent Hill was set in the town of Silent Hill, so I don't know how that would work. It's not like
Town there.
Maybe there's. Yeah, why would you.
Yeah, who's going to live there?
Do you know what I mean? It's so quiet.
Yeah. There's no bars. There's
That's
nothing.
what I mean.
There's no
there's just this
entertainment.
fog everywhere, which like demons come out of occasionally.
Say hi to your neighbours, and they're like, "Shh."
The hell will get you.
Is there anything personally you were sad that you didn't see? Even if it's your wildest hopes, is there anything that you thought could have been a possibility, but just didn't?
Bioshock 4. I knew.
You
Yeah.
knew it was coming.
Nah, I knew it wasn't going to be announced because it was leaked everywhere. It wasn't going to be announced. But yeah, it would have just been nice to see.
What, even if it's just the title screen?
Yeah, just to be like, so they could just be like, yo, it's actually coming. You've heard the leaks, you've heard everything else. We kind of announced it before, but it's the task.
Who knows? They'll probably announce it at BioWare Fest 2021. Everyone has a fest.
Yeah.
You get a festival. You get a festival. What about you, Phil?
I mean, the biggest thing I was probably surprised by was the lack of any news relating to Resident Evil, particularly because Capcom announced the Monster Hunter. Is it a spin-off or a DLC or a sequel?
It's like a game-sized DLC, but they just literally dropped like some lore. So they dropped the name of the place, which I can't remember. So the name of the town that you go to, 2 or 3 characters, and a new monster. And that's what everyone looks for, is the new monsters, because then that gets you excited. Like, oh, yeah, I've got to go fight this.
That was announced this year anyway, wasn't it? Before,
not that monster. Yeah, the game was.
No, the game was announced. Yeah.
But that's what they announced at some point in the not too distant past that there was going to be DLC for Village, and given all the hype around what the game was and Maggie Robertson winning the best voice actor and all this sort of stuff, you would have thought they would have done something to kind of capitalize on it, especially with the movie being out. Some sort of Resident Evil game content would make sense from that point of view, even if it's not immediately out, if they're saying. But yeah, there was nothing on that front.
Do you want to know an interesting fact that I didn't actually think would be? So from Statista, from September this year, Village sold 4.8 million. I'm guessing that's million. That's got to be a million, right? And Monster Hunter Rise sold 7.5. 5, 6. It's their 7th highest grossing game. That's incredible. And then World is their highest grossing game.
Yeah,
because World is
just next level.
Just incredible.
Do you think we'll see a World 2?
Well, wasn't on that leak something about a new Monster Hunter game anyway? Like there was the Nvidia leaks, and I'm pretty sure on that I said something about a new Monster Hunter. So maybe we'll see World 2, or maybe it'll just be a new Monster Hunter with that kind of, engine and all that stuff. So fingers crossed.
That's the other one, Capcom, because that Nvidia leak mentioned Resi 4 as well, didn't it? And
yeah.
That's the other one that people have. The DLC for Village and the remake of 4 are the 2 big ones that people have been expecting for quite some time. The 4 remake probably longer, I suspect. And yeah, just so that quite surprised me. I'm not so surprised with the absence of more Sony stuff because, as Lloyd said before, they got their own thing, and I think they're keeping the cards close to the chest. Although
I think everyone is, yeah.
I think the only one is that don't care. Xbox just leak all their stuff on their Twitter constantly anyway. They just don't care. But I guess if they do that, it means they can work closely with all the different awards and just all the different things, so they're everywhere.
To be fair, I'm not going to criticize them. I'm just going to leave Microsoft to do their thing because they're killing it.
Although the little Dicky and the other guy advert was quite funny.
Yeah, that was quality.
It's like we got away without rapping to sell this advert. And it's like they did. That was good. That was really good. That made me giggle. But interesting question though. Do you know? I don't know how Resi do their DLCs all the time, but is there anything you want Resi Village DLC to explore? Or would you want it just to be a completely different thing that's related to the story added on?
See, I'm not 100% sure because, I mean, being perfectly honest, there's nothing particular from Village that I'd personally want. Like, I mean, it might be cool to see, I don't know, something where you get to play as one of the villagers in the early days before they all end up dying in the main game and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Because there's loads of footage used in the trailers of the villagers which just didn't appear in the main game and stuff like that. But like I say, personally, in terms of that story, especially because the only thing we got with 7 in terms of DLC, story DLC anyway, we got the Chris Redfield DLC for 7, which he was already in the main game, and then we got the Joe Baker one, which is, I don't think there's a character anywhere near like it in Village. The guy who lived in the swamp and went around punching the monsters. Just, but then again, they actually killed it with the DLC for that one because there was loads of like really fun, stupid mini games as well. In that, just which were a great laugh. And then it sort of died off. They had a couple of extra modes for Resi 2 remake, and they had nothing whatsoever for 3, which I think is the big one that fans of the series are generally clamouring for because there was loads of cool content in that game and it was generally rushed out. So that'd be the one personally, and I think probably a lot of people who like Resi would say that is like, don't bring out a Village DLC, bring out Resi 3 DLC, because that game would have been a lot more than it was, and there's just so much more there, especially compared to what was in the original.
Fair. I mean, I think did anyone else feel like it was just completely lackluster? There was just no weight to anything they announced. All the kind of cool things, like a David Cage Star Wars, which everyone wants, even that had no actual gameplay. You know, it was just all like.
The thing is with announcements is like, I get it. You want them to look cool, but like, and obviously a lot of those were like first time announcements. So it's just the industry trend at the moment to sort of do those like really cinematic things.
Mm.
And I can imagine Quantic Dreams Star Wars being like that, to be honest. And I'm not looking forward to that.
No.
Yeah, so I don't know. I would like to see more gameplay, but like I there was just no tease. It was just kind of here's the next game, here's the next game, here's the next game,
Yeah.
here's the next game. There was no like
can you remember watching E3 when you were a bit younger and you watched like I wouldn't watch the Sony one because I was an Xbox player, so you'd watch like the thing and you just see like them builds up for this trailer, and like I'd imagine the Sony ones are the same, but that's my experience. And just like then the trailer would come on and it'd announce these, you just like so like this is amazing, but now it's just like, oh, that's probably going to be pushed back another 8 years. This isn't going to come out without like microtransaction bugs. This isn't going to come out full on day one. I don't know.
Yeah,
we're just cynical now.
We are being cynical. We're unprofessional and cynical. We're not selling ourselves well. But like I don't know. I just think like the games that have come out recently that have just been such a disappointment that have created so much hype. And it was something that we said actually was like, I can't remember when in the stream, but we said like we weren't expecting any first like new IPs to come out, be announced this one.
Is that because of Nightingale one? And I was like, oh, is this like
no,
I don't know, Greedfall 2 or something? I haven't played Greedfall properly, and I just like was going off the
vibe.
What's it? The like vibe and stuff, and you just don't expect new IPs. You just don't. You ever expect like remakes or sequels or like that's it. That's all you expect now.
Yeah, but even the new IPs just didn't do anything to.
No,
because like we've just seen so many, unless they're smaller, like Kana, then a couple of like the smaller games that were were thing, and like maybe Metroid, like Nintendo constantly churn out good games, don't they? But I don't know. It's been an awkward year, and we've said 1,000 times I think this year's really shown the industry's kind of downside.
Yeah.
But who knows what next year brings? Because it does look good. I mean, we got Elden Ring in February. Like, that looks awesome. I've never played a Souls game, but I'm going to buy it because it does look cool.
You best. There's gonna be an entire podcast episode.
Yeah. We'll have to.
And
I'll book the week off as well.
By the time we record it.
Have you seen me play a game?
Yeah, true.
But but again, I'm not. Yeah, I don't know. It was a weird one.
Yeah.
It just, I just lost interest very quickly. I think as well.
Yeah.
So I think, I mean, obviously they've got to cater to all types of gamers, so they've got all types of games and things like that. So there's bound to be ones like, although it was fun to kind of see you two have your little dance party while I'm just sitting there going, no, I'm too old for this.
That looked awesome. That looked good. I forgot about that, but that looked good.
I can't even remember what it was called. That game with it's basically it's like some sort of pop star
TikTok.
simulator or something.
It's like TikTok or something.
But yeah, that's not something that I'll ever buy. But I'm sure for people who like that sort of thing, it looks fun.
You best buy it because it's a let's play in the making.
You're crossing your arms now, bro. I can see you dancing. I can see it. I can see the arms going and.
Get me drunk and then we'll talk.
No problem.
But yeah, I think it was definitely a mixed bag. There was a few moments of like genuine excitement, but even then, there were a couple that were like reveals that we weren't expecting, and others were just excitement for things that we already knew were coming. So
yeah.
There's a couple of smaller games I'm looking forward to.
Yeah,
Somerville. I'm quite looking forward to because I didn't realise Jump Ship is what Playdead used to be. Is what Playdead is now. They did Limbo and Inside.
Whoa! Oh, yeah. I know the one you're on about. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm excited to play that. The one I said was like the better Horizon. That I'm excited for that one. I forgot the name of it. The Dead. Have a Nice Death. That's the one. That looks pretty cool. That looks really cool. Evil West looks okay, I think. There was a couple like that piqued my interest, but nothing like I'm like, oh my god, I have to play this on day one sort of vibe. But I don't know if that's just because I'm cynical old.
It's because you're old now.
Yeah.
I can't even remember the name of it. I think pretty much the only PlayStation or PlayStation exclusive game that was announced was that one. Foreshadowed, that was it. Or Forspoken, rather.
Oh, Forspoken. Yeah.
That looks cool.
That's one I think that looks really good, and also for something brand new as well. It's not a sequel. It's not a remake of something.
It was PlayStation Epic, wasn't it? So it's on the Epic Store.
Yeah.
Actually, I think that's probably one of those things. Did someone say that on the night about? They don't say enough about whether things are available on PC because you only talk about consoles. And I just did it then saying it's a PlayStation exclusive when I should have said it's a PlayStation and PC exclusive.
Yeah, sometimes. I think a lot of the time, unless it's PlayStation, you've got a second guess. Or Nintendo, you just know it's not coming. It's not happening. But with PlayStation, you've got a second guess. Xbox, if they announce something that's Xbox exclusive, you know it's on PC, regardless. So you just got to kind of pay attention to the console. If it's Nintendo, no. If it's PlayStation, depends if they're, being idiots about it.
Yeah. Oh, that was the thing. It was a Game Pass thing because they were saying they're changing the branding to recognise the fact that Game Pass is for PC as well.
Yeah. They're like
PC players, you can play this too.
Have you seen the reveal thing to it on Twitter where it's on Photoshop and they just delete the for PC and put PC in front of it and just click the check mark? That's good. I don't know. Microsoft's branding seems to be just on point lately.
Yeah.
They've figured out their thing. But before we go off too much on a tangent, what was Lloyd's kind of spoke about it, but what was for you, Phil, your biggest reveals of the night?
In terms of things that I've not seen, I mean, not gaming related, I think the thing that makes me genuinely most
I
excited
knew it was coming.
was Sonic 2. I mean, I say not gaming related. Obviously, it's a video game movie, so there's that. But that was just one of those moments which just take me right back to childhood, and like that scene where Knuckles stops Sonic dead in his tracks was basically.
Body slams him. Oh,
I don't know if you either of you played the opening of Sonic 3. That's or Sonic 3 and Knuckles with the magical cartridge. That moment is like the start of that at the start of that game, and it's just like immediately I was just like, oh, I cannot wait for this film. This is going to be amazing.
gonna be good. They've figured out how to make uh, a good video game movie. There, they really have. I think
They've hit the nail on the head there.
Yeah, they've done
Yeah,
it.
I read an article as well where about Idris Elba was like having deep conversation with the director, like trying to make sure he understood Knuckles' motivation properly and all this sort of thing. Which, I mean, you sort of laugh, but it's also like actually that's really good because if you treat if Sonic is fun, it's always been fun, but it's also its own thing. It's got its own story, and if you take all that and like you genuinely care about it and put it on the big screen, it's going to be something that people like. Whereas if you go, oh, it's just a blue hedgehog, it's a joke. Let's just make some stupid, slap a paste thing on. You're going to have a shitty movie. So I think that's one of the signs that it's going to be good.
What
they care about things I care about.
What about what was this? Sonic Frontiers? Looks like it could be open world. I'm not sure if anything's been.
I think they've said officially. I mean, and I've seen a few people say it's basically Breath of the Sonic.
Would you like that?
I'm not sure how it'll work, to be honest with you, because the whole thing of, I mean, this isn't to say it won't work, but the whole thing of the Sonic game, like particularly the 3D Sonic games, like with the 2D ones, like there was speed, but there was also platforming in that sort of traditional sense. But the big thing with the 3D ones was always just sort of you had this area which was, although it was 3D, it was basically a very narrow, so you had to go really fast down the middle and do the thing at the right point and jump this to like try and beat the level in under a minute. I'm not sure how that marries up with wandering around finding waypoints and all these different things in it and a big map and going, right, which way should I go now, and stop and speak to merchants and have NPCs go, hello traveller, and all this sort of Skyrim-y stuff.
I think Lloyd's got a point. He's waving his pen.
I was just going to say, you've got to run around in loops and go up to get to the viewpoint. Got to go fast, kids.
I don't know. Like, it could work. It really could work. You know.
I suppose like the fast travel will literally just be all travel.
I think it depends how much they learn from Mario Odyssey and Zelda Breath of the Wild.
That's the thing. It would be quite cool. Do you know how Zelda had that Link had that parachute thing? Rather than that, Tails picks up Sonic and it takes him
on a ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, if you're asking me, saying what Sonic game do you want to see in 2022 or 2023, I'd be like Sonic Mania 2. No contest. Because to be honest, I think based on I mean, there are exceptions. Sonic Generations is sublime as a game, but overall, they need to go back to the 2D ones. They just need to make more Sonic Mania style stuff.
I guess they're just unlucky that, unlike Mario, it doesn't translate well to 3D. You know.
Yeah, but some of it does. Some of it's very much a mixed bag.
Maybe they figured it out. I mean, they've had a lot of games where they've done amazing in quotations. So maybe they've learned from their mistakes and they're pushing on and
just don't make Sonic a werewolf, and don't.
They did that. I remember that.
That's exactly why I said it. And don't give him a relationship with a human.
Didn't at one point he was like a all-powerful warrior with like swords and stuff? And I might be thinking of a different thing now. I'm thinking of a different thing. Don't worry. Ignore me. But yeah, anything else that stood out?
I mean, again, in terms of it was cool to see Horizon Forbidden West, but we've seen it. The Hellblade 2 was a really genuinely good one. And
Hellblade
that was
2 is-
that was one of those things I think as well, because I've been thinking for a long time. Like, obviously I've got Game Pass, so I can play it, but I've also been like toying with the idea that maybe at some point I should invest in a Series S so I can just play Game Pass games on that. I don't need a disc version of the Series X or
Yeah.
whatever, because I don't know, they've all been yeeted into space or something anyway, so you can't get hold of them. But
You don't really need discs nowadays, really, do you? Everything's digital. You don't. I think that's the one thing I'm happy about, is not having to have discs. Like, genuinely so happy about it.
but that's one of those games, because that's like I've seen people like the whole console war nonsense between like going, oh well, is Hellblade better or is Horizon? It's like, I want to play both.
Yeah.
Can't they
that's
just
fine.
both be good games in their own right? Why
Yeah.
does
Yeah,
have to be
no,
one better than the other?
definitely. I mean, Hellblade is better.
Fuck up,
but-
kids.
Yeah, of course. I'm joking. I'm joking. But no, I think Hellblade was the standout thing for me for the entire show.
That
Like,
looked so good as well, like just
that
quality.
Strenuous Sacrifice will go down as one of my favorite games of all time, quite easily in my top 5, and it'll take quite a bit to knock that out of my top 5. So number 2 just looks like holy.
Incredible.
It looks
I'm excited
so
to kind of see how like the army thing works, because the first one was very much you're on your own. Because
yeah,
it looks like you kind of gather an army in this one. So that'd be cool.
yeah. And it one of the things that I'm thankful for is they've not forgot what made the first game so good.
Good, yeah.
With the exploration into the psychosis, the voices, and it's
Mm.
still a prominent thing. And I think it'd be easy just to jump into this big action thing, and have that as a part, but not
The
a
whole
huge
thing,
part
yeah,
like it was
yeah.
in the last one. But still, like where she's watching that giant thing, and it's like, look at the bones, and then still like telling her all these different things. It's still present, and I don't know, still going to make it such an eerie and beautiful experience.
Yeah.
Play the first one; it's so good, so good. Wear headphones; you have to. You have to. Yeah,
Yeah,
but,
I'd recommend ones that cover your ears as well.
yeah,
For that.
definitely,
Not just like-
definitely.
Yeah.
Yes, that seems to be it for like the thing. I mean, anyone excited for Alan Wake 2?
Nah.
You're the only one who's played the first one, aren't you?
It's
the three of us.
I don't understand why people love it so much. I really don't.
Is that Jake Gyllenhaal by any chance? Did they motion cap Jake Tim? Because that was my first thing. I thought it was Jake Gyllenhaal.
Wait, who? For
Alan Wake.
Oh, I don't know. Jake Gyllenhaal.
It won't have been him in the first game.
No.
Is Jake Gyllenhaal in Alan Wake? He isn't Jake Gyllenhaal, but he looks more than he sounds like the original games of Alan Wake. Well, apparently he's not.
Okay.
But it does look like it, because when it showed him, I was there. I was like, "Ooh, I know that person."
Listen, yeah, I was like, Jake Gyllenhaal in a game? What? He's just a Mysterio. He's dead.
He's been dead for a while, you know.
Spoilers.
Ooh, it's been out for a while anyway.
Yeah.
Jeez.
God,
But,
Marvel. Why aren't you watching it on day one?
I know. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, and I guess it being an award ceremony, we'll talk about the smaller section of the award ceremony, the awards themselves.
Yep.
How do we feel about them? How do we feel about the ones that won?
It was a mixed bag from the start. We said that when we were talking about it ahead of time, didn't we? But I think,
yeah,
I mean, I think I was glad in the end that It Takes Two won. The main game of the year, particularly because it's not a normal game of the year contender. It's not like just a single player sort of thing. It's something different, and it's also something where like you could tell the amount of time and love and effort that went into that game, and
I think I'm not sure how correct I am. It does also tackle like the divorce story through a different set of eyes, because normally you see it from like a kid's set of eyes, don't you? And them trying to process things, but you see it from their eyes, seeing what's happening to their child and them having to work together. I don't know. It's a very unique perspective, I think, It might not be but from what I've like seen of those style of stories, it seems very unique. But yeah, easy game of the year. It also got multiplayer game of the year, which like fair. It's a couch co-op game that won multiplayer game of the year. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, couch co-op's not dead. I'm kind of glad because like I hope it kind of brings that like sort of co-op game back now, because I do miss playing those types of games. Like they're very far and few between.
Yeah, and it's even like I don't know, playing in like the two people, and you're both working together. It reminded me of Army of Two. Playing
that game,
and that game was just it
phenomenal.
was bad but so good.
It was good.
I don't know. I still looking back at it, I still think it's bad but amazing.
That's just because you're negative.
One of those. I know.
It was a good game.
But yeah. Other than that, the other awards, like, we hadn't played any of the games, so it was like, but listen to the soundtrack for Nier Replicant version 1.22474487139. There's more numbers to the name of the game, but I can't be asked going through it. It's incredible. It's so good. Like, I was looking through the awards and I was like, I can listen to that because you can just pick it up on Spotify, and oh my lord, such a good soundtrack. Like, damn, I'd listen to that. Very good work music,
Yeah, there's a couple, because we were saying this about like the musicians playing. They did the Horizon.
Yeah.
And they just don't get enough recognition, man.
No, they don't. Imagine Dragons were amazing there.
Yeah.
Sting was a bit of a bummer to open up on.
But that player, the violin player.
Oh, the violin!
Give him a solo career
of his life. Oh
Give
my
him
lord!
A solo career.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that was, I think, part of the problem with the awards ceremony not being an award ceremony as such, because loads of those awards just sort of, because it was just like, these are the nominees, the winner is right, next game exclusive.
Yeah.
There was no big presentation. There was no one going collecting it and doing a speech or whatever.
Even the speeches felt like they were severely rushed. The two Forza ones, you could tell he wanted to speak a bit more, but he was just like, okay, I got to thank you, and then just had to rush off because it was like, okay, now we got the next game from something that you don't care about. Watch this, and you're just like, oh well.
But I think that's the other thing that this kind of like misses out, because like E3, it was like obviously you had the different sections, so you'd have like Phil Spencer from Xbox or whatever come on and do their thing, and like say their piece, and it, like, even though it was scripted, it was funny, it was engaging. There was a point to like that section of the thing. Where this, it was just kind of, and it didn't feel like ads at E3, whereas this it did. And I can't remember how the Summer Game Fest works. I can't remember for the life of me for some reason. Is it the same? I can't remember, but like, I
think it's the same without awards in it. Do they have awards? I don't know.
I can't remember if they did like sections or not. I can't remember.
Maybe at the Summer Game Awards next year, the longer section will be awards that they randomly give out, and they'll have like 4 trailers.
Yeah, no. But I don't. Yeah, it's just I don't know, because like we were saying at the beginning, like we had like loads of respect for him, but I don't feel like he's in touch at all at what game has won, and it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, just to like disagree slightly, I think it's not so much that, I mean, he's not created an award ceremony to be like the Oscars or whatever. I think he's done this because it's a spectacle that he feels like he can hype it up and people can go, oh, I want to know what this next game is going to be. And that's why it is all about the reveals. I think it's probably one of those things where, I mean, I agree. If it feels jarring, I suppose, when you think about it, but it's probably one of those things where if you sat a bunch of gamers down to watch an award show like the Oscars, and it was a full-on award show and there was nothing else, they'd probably get bored and stop watching. But then, at the same time, if you just sat them down and it's all just announcements, then it's like, well, why is this different than any other thing? So I suppose that's where he's coming from. But that's not to say like that it's the right thing to do, but I think most people probably, in terms of attention spans and whatever, that probably fits the kind of thing that's probably most palatable to mass consumption rather than to actually doing a service to all these people who put in these huge time and effort making these games.
I think the thing is if they wanted a big announcement thing, like if it was going to be just a big announcement of games, you need a big heavy hitter in there. You need a big announcement. There was no big announcement in there. There was just announcements. There was nothing to be like, oh my lord, did you see that at the Game Awards? There was Dynasty Warriors 10 and they're taking Dynasty Warriors 9 off the shelves because no one wants to play it. I had to get it in there somehow. But like there was nothing to be like, oh my, did you see this? It's like It Takes Two won Game of the Year and we were all like, yeah, fair. It was like, you know.
But I think this is the other point. Like this is like what the 8th Game Awards now or something like that. It's been going for like quite a while, and it's like the first year that it's really been like this with the way it's set out. And the awards have not only taken second place, but again, like going back to what E3 did, the reason E3 worked so well was because people were like, I'm going to get hyped for this section of the awards now. It was 3 days long, but like, because people knew when things were happening, it was like, right, okay, I know this is going to be in this section, or it's probably going to be in there. So they turn up for that rather than, and how long was each section? Like an hour or so? Yeah. So it's like, like you're now turning up for, 4 hours waiting for your next big thing to be announced. And you don't even know whether it's going to get announced because you don't know who's there. So it's kind of that's what I mean. That's what I mean by thing.
I think that does mean when it was like saying it was more the like it wasn't so much the saying that what he was doing was good. I agree. Like it doesn't really work, but I think everything seems to be in that format nowadays. It's not just the game. Everything's sort of. I don't know. It's the same reason that like when you watch a trailer for anything like a movie or something, there's a mini trailer before the trailer. Everything seems to be catered to like really, really short attention spans and all this sort of stuff. And it just, which is odd for something that lasts 4 hours in total, and there's no like schedule. It's just like you have to turn up and hope for whatever. So catering for short attention spans is a bizarre thing to do.
I don't know, like if it's just me that feels it, but the disrespect on the esports thing was just like all of it being in the pre-show, and it's like probably one of the biggest things about gaming in the last 2 years with with the lockdown and stuff. And it's just like, oh yeah, this is the esports game of the year. This is this. It's like, well, there's all this footage you could have used from tournaments and stuff like that. You could have at least shown who the teams were,
interviews with them before,
why they won. Exactly. I mean, all the esports players are probably just streaming anyway. You probably could have just jumped in their chat and asked for you've won, tell us something.
But it's just the content creators as well. They were they were shoehorned in.
Yeah.
I know, obviously, I can't remember who won it, but
Dream won content creator of the year.
Okay, yeah. Like it just felt shoehorned in. Because that was just in that like 30 seconds of here's an award, here's the nominees, here's who got the award. Like it was kind of shoehorned in that, and
it felt like they could have done a lot more with the content creator stuff as well. Because like that's been a massive part of the last 2 years is content creators keeping people engaged, and
the most they had was Jacksepticeye kind of awkwardly standing on stage.
Yeah, you could tell they were like, "Listen, don't be you." It's all right, Jack. We know.
We got your back, bro.
we got your back. We got your back. But I mean, out of 10, we'll just rate the Game Awards.
5.
I was going to say about 3.
Yeah, I was going to say 3.
Yeah, it wasn't amazing.
Yeah.
It wasn't amazing, was it? But
see, that makes it sound like I'm really talking up now to give it 5 out of 10.
That's why we waited, so we could be worse.
Yeah. I think I don't know. Like I'm not. I don't know. Like if I don't know. I don't even know because like it's just one of those things now where does it go next year? Because like the Summer Game Fest was okay from what I remember this year. It wasn't horrendous. But I don't know. I don't know where it goes next because it kind of needs to take a lesson from this year, and if it's going to go on time.
Yeah, it's a bit of a strange one. It was just a bit lackluster.
Yeah.
What did I mean, you mentioned it before, Lloyd, about the new Quantic Dream Star Wars game, which I don't know. That sentence fills me with dread somehow. But
Did they make? Is it Detroit they made?
Detroit,
yeah,
yeah.
Detroit
Oh
Become
my
Human.
lord!
Yeah.
'Cause that's
Yeah.
just. I know you love it, Phil, but that is just one of the. Oh,
It's a drag.
The thing with it as well is like, and I think people knew even then, like that it's got a really dedicated fan base who love that game, despite who created it. I think is fair to say, because if you look back on any of the like previous ones, like the Heavy Rain and
Yeah.
Beyond Two Souls, like even though they're not the worst things in the world, but like the writing in them from David Cage is just so hacky and tropey, and plus there always seems to be like it has to be some sort of scene where like there's something really unnecessary, like violence towards a woman and stuff like this, and it like what? But then obviously, it makes sense when you hear about all this stuff that came out about the attitudes and the abuse in the studio and stuff, and apparently, he said something about Detroit, like David Cage declaring that his game was not. I think the quote was something like "It's not for queers" or something like this. Which
so he's the top guy. Jeez.
yeah, which brings me back to my original point of this came out. This announcement was in the show, which explicitly said they won't have anyone from Activision Blizzard there because of what's going on in that studio, and we don't tolerate all these abuse in our communities and all this sort of stuff. And then
they conveniently show that after the straight after the statement. Yeah.
Should we mention the statement?
Yeah. I think it's there. Yeah.
Because like at first they weren't going to say anything, right? Or they wasn't going to say make a statement. They were just going to.
No. So there was no. So I think this is where. Wherever it's, I don't know where it's gone. But basically, the headline said he was going to sit on the fence, but he said he'd have to think about how he approached it. Right now, I don't know what that means. That could mean a number of things. I'm not going to say it's sitting on the fence because he doesn't actually say that. So I'm not going to put words in his mouth. But when it, sorry.
Lloyd was dying then.
Yeah, Lloyd's dying. So I don't want to sit here and put words in his mouth about him sitting on the fence or whatever. Like obviously, there's all the other controversy about one of the Activision board members being on the advisory board or whatever for Game Awards. But yeah, he came out with a statement. It probably wasn't the strongest statement in the world, but I can't remember my point.
Yeah,
I don't know. It was
it felt very shoehorned in just to check a box without actually checking that box. If that makes sense. So it's a bit like, well, you could have called them out. I mean, he called Konami out, right?
Yeah, but
sure.
That's because Hideo Kojima's his mate, so
yeah.
I
guess he doesn't know anyone at Activision Blizzard.
Yeah, it's like Hideo Kojima is obviously this like big time game director, and he wants to be in with him so that he can have to whenever Silent Hills does get announced, he can be like first in with the reveal at the Game Awards 2022 or whatever.
2024 at least. They're gonna say it 3 more times next year, and then it'll be 4 more times the year after, and then on the 5th time they say it in the year after, they'll announce it.
Yeah, but on the other hand, someone who works at Activision Blizzard who's just just a lowly game dev putting all this time and effort in and like working ridiculous hours and then facing abuse and sexual harassment and whatever else, that doesn't really matter because they can't get them any kind of reveal. So they have to sound like they care about it and say, well, we don't tolerate any abuse in our community, and this like very generic rainbow umbrella sort of statement, rather than just say, actually, you know what, the workers that have taken strike action over this, fair play to them. we support them. This is terrible. Don't do
That's
that.
probably all he would have had to say is we stand with them.
But yeah, but that's the thing is
Probably.
when your Game Awards board is populated by all these studios, not by the game devs, by the studios, the actual
Yeah.
people in top.
It makes it a lot harder. So it's a bit.
He doesn't want other studio bosses thinking, oh well, if I step out of line, I might get told off as well. So I'm not going to give him any exclusive reveals.
I may not have my game revealed at an awards show. But yeah, no, it was very blankety and very. It did feel like it was done because of the bad press around him. Like you said, sitting on the fence, which I suppose he wasn't, but that's how it was coined.
Yeah, it was was it Kotaku, because it was the headline didn't really match the article. I think it was.
Said, so
And
yeah,
Kotaku have got a habit of doing that.
Yeah, it was very much a sort of clickbaity headline. I mean, obviously, it then forced a response from him, which was then meh. But yeah, I think.
I didn't see that. Oh wait, you want the response to him actually saying, or
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think,
okay.
but I think that seems that came after the kind of the headline outrage sort of stuff.
Fair. So that's it. If we're gonna round up the Game Awards, it was meh, and that was it. That was the Game Awards in 3. I don't know. It was like a Senua's Sacrifice. Hellblade 2 looked cool, so fair. That was it.
I thought you were either deflating or someone put something to where the sun doesn't shine.
Well, that went a different way than I expected. But should we move on to Le News and talk about the news?
Yeah, why not?
It's the news. No, that was good, actually. That was sick. I'm continuing my career as a jingle maker on Spotify, so I thought I'd add one in today, and we'll keep going, and then I'll get exposure from this, and it'll all work out in the end. But what's intrigued you in the news this week, guys?
Epic are giving away 15 free games.
Why?
Between the 16th and 30th, and probably going to complain that they're not making any money.
I was going to say, are they making money? And then I realised Fortnite's Fortnite, and Fortnite's probably making enough money to keep the company going for the next 18,000 years without even trying. So, yeah, that's a point. 15 games, though. Anything good in there? They said with the games, or
Not said.
not said. No, fair. So 1 game, or 2-3 games a month isn't enough. We want you to have a bigger library than your Steam library, so eventually you come over to us. Maybe that's their tactic.
Yeah, I'll just add it to my Steam.
But anything else, Lloyd? In the news for you? No. Phil?
So there was a thing where Sony have. Well, I say it's not that they've recently patented, but they've recently had the patent agreed for one of the mechanics in Death Stranding, which is, as far as I understand it, it's basically because it's kind of a single player game, but if you play online, if you build, like, I don't know, say a bridge over a valley, like if you build part of it and someone else builds part of it, it all sort of becomes like you can basically, even though you won't see the other player in the game, you can collaborate on building structures in world and this sort of stuff. So they patented that system, which basically means, like with Warner Brothers patenting the Nemesis system for Shadow of Mordor, which is apparently coming to Wonder Woman. It means no one else can use that, which is one of those things which I really don't think I agree with game development stuff, because if good mechanics, surely the whole point of these things is being able to use them in different games and refine them and build up. Like,
it's Warner Brothers and Sony, though. What do you expect? They don't care about anything else other than themselves.
Well, yeah, there is that, and also, although it got lifted shortly afterwards, we can just a quick boo to Warner Brothers for.
I'll mention the name too many times; they'll copyright this.
The copyright claim on our stream, because we helped advertise the Matrix Revolutions for them by co-streaming the Game Awards.
Let's care. Let's like make the point. Who actually cares about the Matrix at this point? Do any of you?
I
No?
didn't even see 2 and 3. I'm not going to see 4.
I think they switched the computer off in one of them and then it's done. That's the end of it. I have no understanding of what the Matrix actually is. I watched it at a young age, and I know they did the whole ducking through the bullet thing, and that's it. That's my knowledge.
The original film was like fairly groundbreaking in many ways, including in really unnecessary and inefficient power sources because the robots used humans as batteries.
We're not good power sources.
No,
The majority of us just want to sleep. And the rest of us don't care, so
yeah.
you're not getting much from us.
Although this is slightly tangential. Well, a lot of this is tangential. But what did you think of the Unreal 5 demo from the Matrix?
I haven't touched it. I've
seen a lot of people saying like it looks like basically like a film or whatever. I don't know whether that's because it's so. It's downloadable for free, isn't it? It's so short a segment. So it's like if you tried to make a whole game like that, it'd probably be like a terabyte of game or something ridiculous.
How many? What was it when they advertised the Unreal Engine? Was it the squares or the triangles? They can get stupid bounce a billion triangles or squares in this one image, so you can see the reflection of the reflection within the reflection that's coming from the moon, that's reflecting off the sun that's miles away. How many squares and polygons were used in that Matrix Reloaded trailer thing? Demo, sorry.
God knows. It's the whole how many angels can dance on the head of a needle sort of thing. Head of a pin. Sorry, that was it, yeah. But yeah, going back to the original point, is like just I think that's not a trend I'd be in favour of. I know, wasn't there another game mechanic thing? I can't remember what it was, but I'm sure I saw something where the whoever was behind it actually released the patent so other people could use it quite recently.
I'd imagine it'd be quite a few.
There was something, so like almost the exact opposite of this. So they said, right, we've developed this thing, we had a patent on it, but now go forth and use it, type thing.
Oh, there's apparently loads of game mechanics that are patented. Apparently Sonic's got some. Sonic the Hedgehog's got some. Pac-Man. Soul Calibur?
That's a throwback.
What? Patience, performance when it cuts the heart. I don't know. Yeah, apparently there's quite a few, so maybe it happens quite a bit. But maybe we're more aware about those because they're the newer ones. The Nemesis system was really cool, so that's fair. But yeah. My news is not as groundbreaking as both of yours. Mine is the Santa Claus is coming to what's it called? Phasmophobia.
Oh.
Yeah. Have you seen any trailers to it? You hear his like boots and his bells jingling as he's walking around and stuff. And
does he still sneak up and kill you like the other ghosts?
I think so, yeah. But yeah, you can get haunted by Santa in Phasmophobia, which I think is just an amazing little crossover. Like not crossover. Is that a crossover? I think that's a crossover. But it's an amazing little thing that you wouldn't expect in a horror game, just to see Santa walking around trying to kill you. I'm not sure if it's like a new type of ghost or something, or I don't know what's going on with that, but yeah, that's my little bit of news.
I mean, Santa was previously a horror like story, I think, for little because like you got like if you were good, like you got like a gift or whatever, but if you were bad, then depending on which country you came from, he'd like put you in a sack and take you off to hell, or he'd
All right, don't ruin Santa for me.
He'd have his little his dwarf servant like beat you with a stick, or there were loads of variations, but basically piss Santa off at your peril. It's my point.
I prefer capitalism Santa. He's nice. He's jolly, and he gives me presents. That's all I need to know. So yeah, I guess I'll round the podcast out. we've been UnCapt. Thank you for listening. That's been our thoughts on the Game Awards, which was, kind of a little bit of. You can find us at on everywhere. Fumble this again. You can find us everywhere at UnCapt Gaming, Twitter, Facebook, the whole spiel. YouTube is probably the best place because that's where all our videos go up. Videos going up all the time. And yeah, that's been us. Bye, everyone. Bye to my lovely co-hosts, Lloyd and Phil. Beautiful people. And we'll catch you in the next one. Bye!